Yippee-ki-yay, melon farmer.
Welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's your boy, the Big Canucker, and we're having a look at something that's inside this Nanook Algonquin green carrying case. It's by Grimsmo Knives. If you're kind of a nut job like me and you've been around this EDC world for a bit, you know what's inside this. And I'll tell you what's inside this. It happens to be one of the finest examples of a titanium EDC pen. It is the Grimsmo Knives Saga, and I gotta say, man, oh man, this is an absolutely gorgeous example of, I'm gonna say, design, function, craftsmanship, machining, and you know, it's all those things wrapped up into one, and it has a price tag to match that to boot. Now let's have a quick look at this, kind of some side-by-side comparisons. Here we've got one of the pens that got me into collecting pens was a tactile turn. These are the two examples of the tactile turn pens that I have. I've sold a few down the road. These happens to be the version 1, and this is kind of a version 2. This is one of the original here with the rounded tip. And I loved both of these, but I wanted to get, if you're a collector and you're kind of a collector bug with EDC items, you know that Saga is kind of the pinnacle. It is one of the top pens that you're going to want to put inside your pocket, and it did not disappoint when it got here. Here's another one here that's you can see here. This one here is what is this here? This is the Tech Accessories Coaxis Rail Pen. This is a really neat one too as well. And you know what? I'd be surprised. I was really surprised when I first got this how beautifully it wrote and how ergonomic it was. That was really awesome. Just want to kind of show you those things too as well. And of course, the one that set it all off for pen collecting for me was this one here. This is a Embassy pen that is it came from a company called Countycom, and these were actually FBI field agent pens. That was just kind of some extra ones kicking around, so they put them on a website and sold them. And my wife got me this for my birthday, and I loved it. I love this pen. It is a club too as well. This thing here is a monster. But let's go have a look at this Saga here just a little bit more. This here is made by a company that is a couple of knuckleheads that started off into a garage building knives quite some time ago with CNC machines, and they built a knife that was really quite an odd looking duck, and that was the let's just see, the Grimsmo Norseman. And if you are familiar with the EDC videos, you of course would have saw that on Nick Shabaz's YouTube channel, and that was one of the very first knives that I looked at, and I thought, man, oh man, do I like that? Do I not like it? It was really quite goofy, but when I ended up getting one and putting it in my hand, I knew that the craftsmanship and the machinedness of that knife was absolutely bar none. Some of the best machining that I have ever come across in any item whatsoever. I mean, those two knuckleheads out there in Ontario, they do such a fantastic job machining. And all the stuff that's in their products are machined, or just about everything are machined and made in-house. And they've got themselves a YouTube channel, and I'll put that here in the description too as well. If you want to have a look at kind of, because they've got some content that's, you know, entertaining, but they've also got some content that is really, really informative, and they'll explain kind of exactly what this little this mechanism here that's in the tip of this Saga. You can find all that out on their YouTube channel. I'm going to go through kind of some of the basics a little bit, but I'm not going to break this completely down because A, I'm afraid that I wouldn't be able to get it back together, and B, I just don't feel like it. All right, let's have a look at this here. We can have a look at this really, really close. You can see that it has got some really, really gorgeous knurling pattern here. Can you see here? I'm going to stand up here so I can see, look a little bit better on the top of my screen. You can see that they've got Saga, and they've also got 6470. So this one here is number 6470. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to put a link inside there in the description that runs exactly to this exact pen. You can see what the price of this was, the original, and what some of the options are on it. But the inside, the pen insert that comes with this happens to be a Schmidt P900F black ink. It also comes with a spare blue ink cartridge just in case that's your bag, you want a blue ink, you can get one. So I was really quite happy to find out that there wasn't any sort of super crazy proprietary insert in these that's going to cost you $80 just to get yourself an insert when the thing runs away. No, that's one of the things they did do. And the Schmidt 900F writes absolutely beautifully. It writes gorgeous. I've got no complaints with that whatsoever. Now, when I did get this in the mail and I opened it up, I was really quite surprised at how small it was. I mean, it's just a little under 5 inches. And I just thought, more of my bag is a full-size knife. I really enjoy this kind of size of knife. This one here seems to get lost in my pocket a little bit. I was a little bit surprised at actually how light it was too as well. I was kind of hoping that it would have just a little bit of heft to it. I mean, it's it's a little bit tail heavy, but that's okay because the entire thing is not super heavy at all. Now it is made with, there's, of course it's titanium. The mechanism inside here, they've got it listed as a stainless steel mechanism with ceramic ball bearings. And I'm not exactly sure 100% how it works in there, other than, I kind of did a little bit of YouTube watching. And when you press it in, I guess there's two ball bearings that there's some ball bearings that kind of close, that trap the mechanism. And then to release it, you just pull this collar down. And then it's just extremely clicky. I mean, that's one of the things about this pen that I do enjoy, because I love really fidgety things. But funnily enough, I don't really like fidget toys. I'm not a fidget toy guy. I like flicking my knives, especially some really gorgeous folders. When I flip my knives, I do it at home quite a bit, because when I'm at home and I flick my knife with my wife there, she rolls her eyes so badly that I can actually hear it. And then she threatens me to take the knife and stab me in the head. And I don't know if that is the mark of somebody who's in love or somebody who's not in love. When your wife says she's going to stab you in the head with your own knife, I don't know. I guess, passion and hate are so closely related. That's what I'm blaming it on. All right, but it is quite a gorgeous mechanism. It's really, really satisfying to sit there and flick. Totally. I mean, I could sit there and do that 10,000 times. And I'm sure that the way the Grimsmos design things, it is probably will take a 10,000 times and not, worry about it whatsoever. But also a little bit concerned here that the mechanism may be so fine that if you're in a really super dusty environment, I don't know if it will kind of handle stuff like that. So that's, dusty, sandy, dirty, not 100% sure. So take that with a grain of salt, or maybe not. But you can see here, the machining is so gorgeous. You can see that it's got the Grimsmo logo right along the bottom. It's got the Grimsmo logo here on the one-piece machine titanium clip, and that's kind of part of the things that I think make this thing so expensive, is the fact that it's, like I said, it's one piece of titanium, it's completely milled in-house, and it takes a lot of machining time and I think a lot of material to do stuff like that. There's no little kind of split that's welded or anything like that. It's all machined one piece. The collar too, all the knurling that's on it. And you can see here too, even on the top, you've got the little Grimsmo logo. And it's neat that when you actually turn this, that the logo here, let's just see here, we can see that, if we can see that, but you can see that it just pops open like that. Man, oh man. Now, I mean, and then we'll have a look here too as well. If you want to, we can open up and you can see that the threads are beautiful. A little tiny spring in there. And then of course there's your P900F, and that F stands for fine, I do believe. And that just kind of puts inside there like that. And it's machined. The threads on there are beautiful, in and out. Like I've got a few knives that I've kind of taken the screws out of. One of them happens to be something like this one here. This Spartan Harsey, that when they make their own screws inside too as well. And you can think of something that's as simple as a screw. You got to wonder, well, hey, there's lots of screws out there in the world, but there's not a lot of screws out there and not a lot of threads out there that when you actually start to thread them on, there is no worry about cross threading and there's no sort of slop or play. This is one of the examples of this too. This screw is absolutely gorgeously machined, and so is this. As soon as I started screwing this on, because there's been a couple of times I've kind of screwed it on and off, there is no slop whatsoever. There's no danger of it being cross threaded because you can get some sloppy things, those things out there that are machined not very good, and you kind of a little bit, you start to screw it in and it immediately cross threads. You're not going to have to worry about with something like this because the machining, I do believe, is that good. Now, this also comes with something which I think is pretty cool. It's pretty neat, and that happens to be the Grimsmo Norseman little pocket notebook too as well, and it just kind of fits in there. It's the perfect size for this kind of for this type of pen. And it's also got just, a gorgeous logo on the outside. It's got the, there's the Norseman pen and there's the Saga kind of cross, I just think it's actually pretty neat. So it ships with one of those. You can buy refills. There's off the Grimsmo website. And I think those are about 12 bucks, I do believe. So I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. Now, it's not all complete roses with this. I mean, as far as the mechanism is concerned, as far as the pen is concerned, I mean, I don't have a lot of, really nitpicks or gripes about this other than I wonder if this is going to hold up under some kind of real dusty, dirty conditions because it is such a fine, mechanism. Like, and with this mechanism too, as well, like there's no real slop in it either. Like, I mean, you start to press it and it immediately pops right out. There's no kind of play or anything like that where it kind of bounces up and down. Same thing with the release mechanism. As soon as you get to a certain bit, it just breaks and flies open. Like that quite a bit. And you can feel sometimes just certain things, you can kind of get it in your hand and you know that it is really, really well made. And this happens to be one of those things. Now, it's got a titanium nitride full titanium aluminum nitride coating. So it looks like it's been anodized and there's been a little bit of a anti kind of wear coating put over top of it. It is a little bit fingerprinty. I do notice that when I do kind of, when I wipe it down, the color is completely different. But as soon as you kind of get your oils on it, it does change the color just a little bit. Now, I don't know if that's going to eventually develop into patina or not, or if that aluminum nitride coating will take that. I just don't know. That's just kind of one of the, I haven't heard about these things, patina. I know that my Norseman knife, the anodization wore away on that, and I was quite disappointed with that for how expensive it was. I hope that doesn't happen with this, but I mean, I guess time will tell. Now, the other thing here too as well that really kind of makes me wonder is the fact that this is a $560 Canadian pen or 495 roughly USD, plus taxes and shipping and those type of things. So I mean, in Canada, this could conceivably cost you, $600 plus. It is crazy to me that I would carry something like that around. And I did carry around for a little bit because I wanted to, write with it. And it disappeared in the pocket so nice, but I was so worried about losing this all the time. This pen here, I mean, it's not inexpensive by any shape of the imagination, but it's $120. If I happen to have lost this pen, I would be sad. But I mean, replacing this pen would come out of my budget. It would be, from something else. I mean, I don't have $120 just kicking around just to, at a whim. But $500 and $600 plus, if that came out of my budget or I had to replace that, I would be sad face for sure if I lost something like this. And it weighed heavily on my mind, even though I promised myself that all the stuff that I had gotten for EDC was going to be used. I wasn't going to have any safe queens. This happens to be a safe queen for me. I have such a hard time kind of carrying this. And that is one of the biggest drawbacks. I think it is, in my opinion, I think this is just a little bit too expensive. I think right now what you're paying is this little logo tax right here. That's where I think this is, a $300 pen with the amount of machining and quality and stuff that has gone into it, $350. I think that's kind of, that's a lot of money. And I think that's, a really good value for the pen. But when you're talking close to $600 or $600 plus, I just don't think that the entire amount is there. I think you're paying a little bit of a nerd tax on that. So I hope you guys enjoyed having a look at this gorgeous, gorgeous, pen. And I think I'm going to put this up for sale. This is so. If you're interested and you've made it to the end of the video, just drop me a line. I will end up putting this sold. I will edit the description and say that it's sold when this does in fact go. But if you're interested in buying something like this, because I know right now going to the website, if you want to buy one of these pens off the website, you basically put your name on a list, and when one's available, they send you an email. They say, do you want this pen? No matter how you don't really get to choose how it's dressed up or anything like that, the color, none of that stuff. And if you don't want it, well, then it goes on to the next person. They get a chance to buy it. And they've sold over 7,500 of these. So my idea of this pen price and the world's maybe a little bit different. So people are buying these things like crazy. But if this one tickles your fancy and you want to buy it, drop me a line at my email. I'll put that in the description too as well. bigcanucker@gmail.ca or mydeal.com. I forget. I always forget that if I can't remember if I'm CA or com. But I'll leave it in the description. You can click on it and send me an email if you want to purchase this. It'll be up for sale here coming up as of when this goes live. And we'll discuss kind of price and stuff like that. All right. So hope you guys enjoyed having a look at this. I hope you guys can stay safe out there. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.